Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Insurance Lounge with me, Tanya.
And me, Christy.
We are your local insurance agents out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we're here to share with you what we know so that, um, oh, already messed it up. Okay. All right, let's do it again.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Insurance Lounge with me, Tanya.
And me, Christy.
We are your local insurance agent out in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we're here to make insurance a little less boring and way more useful for you. Our goal is to share with you what we know so that you feel more confident about your insurance, so that way you can better protect your family, your home, your business, and of course, your future. So, with that said, Christy, would you please kick off our topic for this week?
You bet, Tanya. So it's summertime, and a lot of people
Woo-hoo!
are, yeah, right. Thank you. Well, although like, why do we get excited? We're not kids. We don't get a break from school.
We do not.
Still got to go to work every day. But a lot of people are traveling and or kids are preparing to go back to school. So there's just a lot of added risk that you have, right? When you're on the road more. So we want to offer today some practical tips for how to help you avoid any consequences of that risk.
Absolutely. So if you are planning to take a road trip or driving during the holiday, summer holiday, then this is the episode for you. Um, so let's start with the basic, Christy. Uh, what is on our auto policy, anyways?
Yeah, right. So you've got just like some basics, the basics. You've got your liability coverage. You've got coverage, for the liability is what you have to have, of course, right, to help others if you're at fault and they're injured or what have you. But you got coverage for the vehicle. You've got coverage for yourself. But that's just the basics. There are some other things there that don't always, come with. But you can think about adding things on during a period of high travel, right? So that's what we wanted to talk about.
Absolutely, Christy. So besides the stuff that comes standard on auto policy, we want to point out some things that you might need in case you run into issues when you're on the road. So the first thing that we want to encourage you to look into is in case, guys, in case the car breaks down when you're on your way to your destination, you want to make sure that your auto policy comes with towing and roadside assistance because
Yep.
it doesn't just come with your policy.
Right. That's typically a decision that you have to make to add that. And then, beyond that, how far are they going to tow my car? If I'm hundreds of miles away from home, is it going to tow it all the way home? Or, is there going to be a limit there? So just a conversation you really want to have with your agent to make sure that you could get access to the help that you need on the road if that need arises.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing to think about too, when you talk to your agent about adding roadside coverage to your policy, how long are you going to be driving? Do you really worry about, um, you know, uh, something happens and you need a vehicle to get around in. So does or maybe staying overnight where you're at, right? Until your car is in good shape again and you can continue to be
Right,
on your
right.
way. So does your roadside coverage offer trip interruption? And that's something that's not, again, not standard on all towing and roadside packages, right, Christy? So you got to inquire about that if that's something that's on your mind and that you worry about. And then
Definitely.
as I mentioned, as well as rental car coverage. So
Yep.
in case, in the event, we don't wish it to happen, but in the event that you get into a crash while you're on the road, um, do you do you need insurance company to provide you with a rental car, so you can continue on your trip?
Yep.
Or are you okay with paying for it out of your own pocket, in case of
Sure.
an accident?
Yeah. Most people, don't think they really need that rental car coverage until they need it, and then they really need it, right? But I think the other thing to think about, if something like that happens while you're traveling, how many people are you traveling with? Because there are levels of rental car coverage that you can get as well. So just that standard, little compact car isn't going to get you anywhere if you're traveling with, the whole family or, even extended family and you need something like an SUV, to include luggage and all those folks who are traveling. If you travel like I do, where we travel with the whole family, you're going to need something a little bigger. And I
Absolutely.
think
And if
people
you
don't realize too, sorry, Tanya, I didn't mean to
it's okay.
speak over you, but I think people don't realize, that that's something that you can take on and off. You don't I just want to have rental car coverage while I'm going on this trip, just in case anything happens, and I'm going to take it back off when I get home, and that's fine. You can do that.
Exactly, exactly. And if you do have rental car coverage on your policy already, we still encourage you to check with your agent anyways, right, Christy? And it's not just the level of coverages that you have, but also, um, what you have, is it enough? You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
what else comes with it? And then earlier when you said luggage, right? So that's
Yeah.
one thing that a lot of people don't think about, right, is our personal belonging. So if you're going to have your work laptop with you, if you're going to bring all the kids' iPads, if you have all your luggages for the trip, a lot of times, guys, if they are damaged or stolen from your trip, somebody broke into the car, and if that happened, your personal belonging coverage is typically not going to be covered under your auto insurance policy.
Right.
Some
Yep.
might, but most of the time it does not.
Yep. Even on the limit, if it is covered at all, it's probably a limited amount, right? But
Absolutely.
most of your property type coverages, whether it's a renter's policy or a homeowner's policy, will provide coverage for your belongings when you're traveling with them, but you just want to make sure. So a call to your agent can help alleviate a lot of stress, if you're on the road and something happens.
Absolutely. And then the second thing that we want to share with you is temporary coverages, guys. So depending on where you travel to, these coverages are definitely does not come standard on your auto policy, and it really varies from policy to policies, carrier to carrier. And that is if you're going to do international traveling. So either you're driving across the border to Canada, or you're driving across the southern border to Mexico, or maybe you're flying to one of the US territory and you're going to rent a car
Hmm.
to drive there. Christy, how does that work with
Yeah.
international coverage?
And most policies, I think, Tanya, kind of don't necessarily cover that. Maybe within a certain radius of the border, but you definitely want to just find out whether you have any, maybe Canada, but not so much Mexico, like we said, except within that radius of the border. Maybe some U.S. territories, depending on where you are. So definitely, again, a call to your agent to verify. Am I covered if I drive a car at my destination, or do I need to purchase the additional coverage that, they're probably going to offer me?
Exactly. And if you are going to travel to Canada, you can check with your travel agency or make sure, you check with
Sure.
custom. But a lot of time, even if your insurance company or your policy extend coverage to Canada, Canada does require a Canadian ID card. So it's going to look different. So if you just show them your coverages on your phone, it's probably not going to work. So you might want to ask your agent to help you prepare that before you drive across the border.
Good point. See, Tanya, I've never been to Canada, so I didn't know that. Thank you.
Oh, no
It's on my
problem.
bucket
No
list.
problem. The other thing that we want to encourage you to really do is, um, do a quick policy review with your agent, because if you are going to be on the road a lot, if you are going to be driving in holiday traffic, you really want to make sure that you're truly protected on your liability portion of your insurance policy, right, Christy?
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
anything can happen. And in the society that we have, where a lot of people are still happy, you just want
Yep.
to make sure that your liability limit is adequate to what you want to have, or that it protects you in case of an
Hmm.
accident.
Hmm. Or again, bump it up for, just the period of your travel if you want to, just to make sure. And again, give you some peace of mind.
Exactly. And check with your agent on your deductibles, right? Do you want higher, lower deductible? In the event, maybe if you're going to drive a lot, you might lower your deductible for a little bit just to give you that peace of mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the
And
law of numbers, right? That you're
yeah.
driving more, your risk is higher. So you can make some adjustments there to help ease the cost of it were something to happen.
Absolutely. And then the last thing that we want to share with you is some practical tips. There are some things that you want to make sure you have ready, not just your swimsuits and sunblocks, right? But the one thing we want to make sure you have in the event you have to show proof of insurance, Christy, what do we recommend our listener to do?
Make sure you've got your proof of insurance with you, your card, whether it's on your phone, even just a picture on your phone or the physical cards in your glove box, however it is that you like to do that, and people are all different, right? But it'll just help, in the event something happens, having that policy information and the phone numbers handy will make life so much simpler. So while you're packing, be sure you pack that stuff as well.
Exactly. And if you have your roadside membership, like with AAA or something like that, right? Make sure you have your membership ID ready. So
Yep,
you got to have your membership number. You should know what phone number you need to call in case you need a
exactly. Yeah.
tow. Maybe you want to check out, can I order the tow on one of the mobile apps with my insurance carrier, right? Do they offer something like that?
Right.
So
Yep.
we highly recommend that you pack with you. And then the last thing, Christy, if our listener travel for an extended period of time, maybe a week long, 2 weeks long, or even longer than that sometimes, right?
If you're lucky.
And and they have someone house sitting for them, what do we recommend for those folks?
Yeah, I like to make sure that, that folks have a way to either get it, if something happens to the house while you're gone, make sure that they know how to contact your agent to, if it's sort of catastrophic and you need some mitigation right away, the agent can help get that started and get that process started in your absence. So make sure they have the ability to contact the agent or, at least to contact you for sure so that you can do it if you prefer to do it yourself from the road. Um, but you can't forget about the old homestead while you're gone. You would like to, right? But just make sure that,
Temporarily.
just temporarily, somebody can handle things in the event of an emergency.
Exactly. You want to make sure, they have either your insurance carrier phone number in case of
Right.
something happen,
Your
or if
policy number. Yeah.
yeah, your policy number. If you have an awesome agent like myself or Christy, make sure they know how to get in contact with your agent. If you are not available to be in
Yeah.
contact
Good
with your
point.
house
Mhm.
sitter, right? Because even in case of emergency, more than likely your agent will be able to walk them through it, as long as they have permission to talk to your house sitter about your policy.
Which is
That way
another
you
good
don't come
point.
home to a mess.
Yeah, make that call ahead of time too, especially if you're going to be gone for an extended period. I would say, give your agent a call and let them know, hey, we're going to be out of the country or whatever it is. This is the
Yep.
person who you have permission to speak to in my absence.
Absolutely. So that is a lot of good tips that we shared today, Christy. So let's do a quick recap really quick. Number one, make sure you know what is on your policy, what comes with it, what are optionals, what are some things you can add on, like towing, rental car coverages, and maybe coverage for your personal belonging,
Personal. Yep.
like
Yep.
your luggage and things like that while it is in the car on the road with you.
Yep.
And then point number two.
Second, what about those temporary coverages for things like international travel or travel outside of the US? Make sure that you're going to be covered there. Um, have that roadside covered. What else did we say was temporary, right?
Make sure your liability
Make
limits
sure
is
your
where
liability,
it
yep.
should be.
Yep.
Yep,
And your deductible where you want it to be.
absolutely. And like Christy said, these are temporary changes or coverages. So it's nothing permanent. Just talk to your agent about it. You know, your agent should be able to help you with that. And then to our last point, some practical tips that has to do with insurance to give you the extra peace of mind in case an emergency happen and you have to use your insurance, Christy.
Yeah, we hope it doesn't happen, but just in case, give somebody permission to speak on your behalf. Make sure they have your policy number and your agent phone number, and then make sure that you take that information with you as well in case you need to help out.
Absolutely, guys. So we hope that you enjoy our episode today and that it will help you prepare for your summer road trips, make it a little bit less stressful for y'all. Um, until next time, we thank you for
Have fun
tuning
on the
in.
road.
All right. See ya.